second ever young adult literary convention. And this, as I understand it, is the first ever event that is focusing bloggers as the star of the show. More noise than my name's Andy Robb, I'm an author, but I'm also the founder of an awards thing called the UKYA, which is the United Kingdom, I don't want to say that, the UK Young Adult Blogger Awards. The three bloggers you have in front of you are winners from this year's awards ceremony. I'm hoping it's going to be an ongoing thing, it's a first thing. So these are people you want to talk to if you want to know about blogging. This event primarily is for those who maybe are getting into blogging, just starting out, want to know the sort of tips and tricks of the trade of how to sort of get in there, make your blog work, make it do what you want it to do. I'll do some brief introductions. In the middle, we have Andrew Hall, who on Twitter is known as Peter Wolf. Beautiful 13. Beautiful 13.
I like to be weird.
The basics of Andrew are, he began book blogging in the summer of 2010 when he became unemployed. 5 years later, he has a job he doesn't like, but he's still blogging. He's not sure how he managed to get the award he did, but that's another story.
I think you miscounted that.
That's Andrew Hall. We also have Michelle Toy who runs a website called Tales of Yesterday, but also your Twitter name is
@ShellyToy.
Shelly Toy. Michelle is a book-loving, theatre-loving, film-loving CSI geek. I don't even know what that means. By day works as a resource planner, team leader. By night, she's blotting up books of Tales of Yesterday, which has been running for about a year. Michelle won the Champion Newcomer Award at the UKYA award ceremony this year. She's also a co-moderator of the Bookish Beats site. Is it a site? Okay. And also we have on the end here, we have Laura Heath, aka Sister Spooky on Twitter. She won the Champion Adult Blogger at the UKYA Awards. She blogs about young adult, mid-grade books, cookery as well. She works full time, she's been blogging for over 10 years, and she also loves the Muppets. Okay, so the rules of this little thing are, I know that some events are a bit sort of Q&A, a bit sort of blathering, but let's not do that. Let's make this like a conversation between us all. If you've got a question, just whack your hand up. I will try and come to you as quickly as possible. But I'll set the ball rolling with the first question. And by the way, when you ask your questions, nice and loud, we've got all that going on up there. First question to you guys, I'll start the show at the end. Why do you blog?
I love books. I love books. It just seemed like a natural progression. Just to talk with people that like books as well. So you'll often see me on Twitter talking lots about, oh, I like this book, or things like that. So yeah, it's a passion for books and the community as well, making friends and things like that.
Andrew, what do you blog?
I have absolutely no idea. Basically the same as I think what you guys are going to say. It was just a passion of books. It was a way just to keep me sane when I was unemployed, and it just snowballed into discovering new books and exciting books that I like and dislike, just to keep the reading fandom alive.
Laura?
I hate books. No, I love books, but I started blogging when I was about 16, just doing in general, and just to have something to talk about. And then I realised I was talking so much about books now, and I kind of felt maybe I should just have one and start again that's just about books. And I started following a few bloggers that were kind of big at the time, like Jenny from 100 Reads, you know, Viv as well. From Serendipities on the Pamphlet, and I just thought, oh god, they're so cool, and they get books to review, and they go to events, and they talk to the authors, and they talk back, you know. So I thought maybe I'll try it, and it went well. So.
Any questions? These guys know what they're doing? Any questions? If not, I will. Oh, please go on. Okay, the question was, those who didn't hear it, and guys, could you speak up because we are competing with noise over there. What is the downside of blogging? Let's have that. Let's start with Laura. Laura, what's the downside of blogging?
It's very time consuming, more time consuming than you ever imagine. And also there is quite a lot of drama sometimes in the season. The community is great, everyone is lovely and well-meaning, but like in any sort of gathering of people, like at school or at work, there's always some drama going on between someone, so there's a lot of politics sometimes, which normally the best thing is try not to get involved in it, because once you're involved in it, then you're more consumed with that than actually enjoying reading. So just try and focus on that side of it, and don't get too involved if you can. It's hard, but you know, it's better than
Andrew, downside of blogging. Nice and loud.
Okay. I suppose it is very time consuming. You've got to read the book, then you've got to write the book, then you've got to make sure that the blog makes sense. Because if you just verbally stream it, it's just like verbal diarrhea. It's also, the downside is when you get a book and you don't like it, and then you have to review it, and you don't want to come across like some raging, nasty person. Also, that's very rude word. Queen over saying this book is awful. So you have to be very considerate to people and kind. I think one of my main rules, you've got to be kind to people in the community, because we seem lovely and calm, but if you say right or wrong word on Twitter, it can be misread so easily. You've got to be so careful when you say, but most of you guys are going to be passionate about this, so you're fine.
Michelle, as somebody who is perhaps, you know, slightly less seasoned than these guys, the downside of blogging for you?
I think what I found is huge TBR pile, and to start with it gets a bit, what's the word? Yes, overwhelming. So when you're looking at the pile and you're thinking, how am I going to read all those books? So, but you know you're going to enjoy the books anyway. And being tired from staying up really late because you're that absorbed in such a good book. I'm a little bit oblivious to the drama. I think I go around in my own little world.
That means you create it. Can I ask how many people in the audience are bloggers, have started blogging, want to start blogging? Is this? That's cool. There's a few of you. There's a few of you. How many people have been doing it, say, less than a year? Okay, so longer than 1 year, but less than 5? Okay, alrighty. Can I ask, sorry, those of you, put your hands up if you're a blogger, you've started again. Are you a book blogger? Yeah? Who are you in the wacky world of Twitter? Oh, okay, fantastic. And yourself, sir, you've been blogging for... Okay, nice one. Are there any questions you guys who are starting out want to ask this lot who have fallen foul of the occasional pitfall, or we're just looking at them right now. Please, yes.
What platform would you recommend starting a blogger?
Good question. What platforms would you recommend starting out as a blogger?
I mean, like Blogger or WordPress.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm a blogger first. I'm a blogger personally. I think.
Sorry, what did you say?
Sorry, I use WordPress. Yeah,
I think both of them do have pros and cons. I think when I started blogging in my own little world of finding bloggers, I had them both set up, WordPress and Blogger. So I found it easy to use Blogger. And it does depend on you. Like if you think I find WordPress is easy to use, go for that. Go for that. If you prefer Blogger, go for that. If you prefer Tumblr or Pinterest or Instagram, use them. Use what you feel the most comfortable with. I think that will come across when you do your own stuff. If you feel comfortable and you're relaxed and you're tongue-tied, sorry, and you're using it very easily that way. If you don't like, you don't understand, that can be more frustrating than trying it out.
I think it's worth trying it as well. Just something to do. They can give you like a free website address for a certain amount of time. So you could just try it for a little bit and just get the feel of things, and then try the other one and feel the things.
I started out, well, when I first started genuinely, I was on LiveJournal. Yeah, exactly, yeah, LiveJournal. You had to get a free code from some join, so yeah, exactly. And then after, when I started book club, I noticed everyone had their own sort of site, and I started on Blogger, but I've just, within the last week or so, switched over to WordPress, just because I think you always, but I think it is easy enough to switch over. And the thing is, things like, starting out, I just had it was like, this is blogpress or whatever it was. And then I bought a domain name, it was like £10 for like 3 or 4 years. It was like, so it's not a lot, but I thought I genuinely built my way up, and I moved over now, hopefully going to jazz up a bit more and change things. So it's just once you get used to it, you can find your way. So I use other things, but those are main.
Got a question from the back, please, sir.
Do you think it's necessary to upgrade to
Good question. Do you think it's necessary to upgrade to a personal domain? Is that your question? Is that correct? Yeah. Do you think it's necessary? Does it help? Does it help?
I think it's kind of, it's just a personal choice. I think I started out and it didn't bother me, but then I started noticing everyone else, like when they're quoted, like sometimes if you're lucky enough to get quoted on the back of the book or the inside or you're tweeting, having www and this whole ream of letters, and you sort of, oh, no one's going to remember that. So I thought if I found, like, just use the name, they can just quote that one name and start a bit easier. People might use it, And, but it was a good 2 or 3 years before I decided to actually do it. I thought, right, I am kind of invested in this, I am doing it for real sort of thing, and it wasn't too expensive, but there's so many different sites out there that will do it, and like some sites will do web hosting as well as the domain name and all that. It's quite technical. I don't understand a lot of the technical stuff. I have other people, other bloggers that have helped me with the technical side because I don't get it as well. It's a nice leap to make, but it's not necessary when you start out, I think. You get going and get flowing with reviews and stuff.
Here's a question. You guys on Twitter and through your websites, you interact with publishers. You get requests from publishers, blog tours, reviews, that sort of thing. Is it ever okay to say no? Andrew?
Yes.
Fair enough.
When I first started, publishers did come up to me and say, well, your blog looks like fun. And asked to do blog talk, I would say yes, because I was shocked that they think my blog is that decent, that good enough. And second of all, I mean, you want to promote the book, you want to spend time letter. But now, as I've got older and I've done, there are books out there which you can read the brief, read the first chapter of it, and you just know this isn't for you. But it is your blog. So therefore, you have to reflect your own opinion. And you don't want to do a blog talk about, when they want to talk about your reviews and stuff, if you've read the book and you feel quite early on that your review is going to be negative. So it's easier to just say no from the outset. You can be honest and just say, I started this book, I don't like it, or this book isn't my cup of tea from what I've read from the back, or there is some drama with the author, something you don't want to get involved in. You can say no. You don't have to be specific on why, but it is okay to say no. But thank you for asking me, but I'm going to say pass on this occasion.
Michelle, as a newcomer, how do you deal with this?
I think it's very easy to say yes a lot, but it is okay to say no. It's your blog at the end of the day, and you can blog about whatever you want. So if you're being offered something that you would never read or you wouldn't want on your blog, then I think it's okay to say no. I've said no for times. But yeah, it's fine. And the publishers are great. They don't even, at the start, you kind of feel a little bit bad saying, oh no thank you. But the publishers are great, and it doesn't stop them from sending you any more books or anything. They just realise that that book is for you or for your blog.
Laura, have you encountered this?
Yeah, I used to say, when I first started, I said yes to everything. I just said, yeah, I'll do whatever, because I just thought, if I say no, they'll think I'm someone who just won't do anything. And I think I've learned to say, not only say no if I don't, I don't know anything about it, or I think, oh, I'm not going to have time to even look at the book, to sort of get an idea if I like it. But also I say no, if I want to do a book tour, I also say no to certain posts and things. Like, I personally don't post certain things, like I don't really do giveaways much anymore, because they're so complicated to set up on my end and making sure that they get sent out and all these other things. So I've now sort of, if someone offers me a book tour, I'll say, yeah, I'll do it, but can I do an interview, or can I do, I don't really want to do a book extract, can I have just like some post they've written, even if it's a short thing, like, or have they got a playlist, because I know it talks about music and stuff like that. If you want something a bit more specific, they might be able to, they say, yeah, go for it, that's fine. And other times they might say, oh, we've already written the things, there's 7 things, so we'll just have to give you what we've got, which is fine, you can still, if you have a
do have a question from the back?
Can you share one of your best blogging moments with us?
Can you share your best blogging moment with the...
Oh, where to start? There's so many.
That melted your heart.
Well, there's two. One is blog rate and one isn't. I'm sorry, I should ask if you guys want to go first. And you were actually with me because we were chatting, and at the corner of our eye, it literally was like an hour or so we were over there, and at the corner of our eye, I saw Patrick Ness, and I've only just become to get a little bit obsessed with him on Twitter and some of his books, even though I hadn't read the Chaos Warpath. So I saw it and I went, that's Patrick Ness, that's Patrick Ness. So being all, trying to be all calm, because I'm freaking out about this event, I sort of go, I'd like to talk to him, but I don't want to be that annoying and just sort of go, hi, really loudly. I can go really loud and high when I get nervous. So I had to introduce to him, and that's cool. The other one, this isn't vlogging it, but I have vlogged about it, is when, you remember the J.K. Rowling, when The Casual Vacancy was published, and she did an event in the South Bank of London. I managed to get tickets to go see her, and afterwards she did a signing for everyone that was there, talk about the books, and J.K. Rowling's kind of my writing god person. So, I mean, you don't have time to talk to her, so what you said was like, thank you, and then just go on like, I've just said thank you to J.K. Rowling. Oh my god! I'm surprised. But yes, it is seeing all that you love and you respect. That's the times I've gone, oh my god, how did this happen? You do get very starstruck.
Is that like when you met me?
I just remember when I was at the award there and I was like going, I have no idea what's happening. I think there's been a mistake. I've been nominated for something. I don't know why.
Michelle, blogging moments.
Yeah, I think for me, it's the people that I've met. So bloggers, authors, and you know, publications. So for me, I think it's the people that I've met and the friends that I've made. It's really some of them, and then especially with the authors, to me, it sounds really, really cheesy, but to make friends that much that then you see your name in the acknowledgements, and you just feel I actually made it right. It's just wonderful. So for me, that's what melted my heart. So yeah.
I think the first time I had a bit of a review kind of, because the publisher asked me, said, oh, do you mind if we use this quote? And I thought they meant like the email, or the brief bit. And then when I got someone else, there was a copy in a bookshop early, and another blogger tweeted me, said, oh my god, have you seen this? And sent a picture, and I was like, where's that from? She's like, it's inside the book. And I was like, oh my god, and my name is inside the book. It's something I wrote, and there's no spelling mistakes, and there's no grammatical errors either. That was amazing. And yeah, I think meeting people is a great thing as well. I think I've had like weird moments. I think I was at an event, and then there was someone behind me, sort of like, yeah, they said, you Laura from Sister Spooky? I was like, yeah, thinking, oh, no, I met you and I've forgotten your name. She's like, oh, don't worry, you don't know me, I'm just a really big fan. And then she went away and I thought, that was so odd. I was like, that's so strange. But I felt bad when she went away and I felt like, talk to me, but like, yeah, you have odd moments like that. I mean, that doesn't happen all the time. But, you know, it's just nice then, as well, especially when you see an author that you kind of think, oh, I love your books, and then you meet them and something, you're like, oh, it's you! You're kind of like, I mean, it's me, it's you know? So it's kind of just a nice, ongoing experience sometimes as well.
What about blogger events? How do you guys find out about these things, and do you think it's important to go?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Twitter all the time. I've got a little bit of an addiction.
Not a bad thing.
Literally.
It is at 2 o'clock in the morning.
About events mainly through Twitter and through the people that I follow and the conversations that are going on. I think it's not so much important. I think it's fun to go to events. It's really fun to meet people and meet the authors and just socialise, and you'll find it makes the blogging fun as well, especially as well then you're on Twitter and I can send like gifts to Andrew about a show that we're watching. Because the friends that you make from places.
Yeah, it's not essential. It's fun to go. So if you do get invited and you know you can try and make it, because real life sucks. You have to do like school and work, and you've got to travel. So if you go to an event and you think you're going to have fun there, try and have a go. And you meet loads of people there. And I'm not as hyper entertained as we are. There are calmer people here, I think. But it's nice to chat to people and talk to them, because you realise after a while that it isn't just a computer screen and someone in Cardiff or in Scotland or somewhere in like America. You meet them, they're real people, and you can talk to them and have actual proper conversations. And when you have them on Twitter or Facebook or any other, you can do slightly insane conversations. I think earlier on we were discussing this on Twitter every week. We got into a whole debate about whether lightsabers are better than wands from the Harry Potter series. So we had this huge debate going on. I wanted to bring it up just to see you guys go, oh my god. Just the recoiling disgust about reaction. So it is fun because you can have these stupid, insane conversations, and you can also have really deep conversations and go, okay, why do you like this book? And if you didn't like it, why do you like this book? And I know you have this point as well. So it's nice to chat to someone who is actually a human being rather than a cyborg or something on the other side of the world.
Yeah, I think longer events are great to go to, especially when you're starting out, because it seems so nerve-wracking to talk to like people, especially if there's like established bloggers, like people that have been going and obviously know each other a bit, and it's so nerve-wracking to talk to them online or jumping in a conversation a bit easier, but going to a blogger event and actually meeting them. And sometimes you realise that you've got stuff in common in real life, like, oh, I do that job, oh my god, you know such and such. So it's kind of nice to kind of take away the whole, staring at the screen, like you said before, thinking, oh, should I press send? Is it going to be unfunny or not? But I think so. It's nice to go if you can. And the trouble is when you're starting out, you're starting out when you have no contacts. You don't know which publishers to talk to. Is it going to be rude to go? Can I have a copy of this and things like that? So if you get to that level where you get to ask to go to an event, it's kind of nice to go just to see someone and say, oh, thanks for sending me this, or thanks for including me. So it's nice to go, again, not necessary if you can't afford to make it on the train.
So for people out here who are kind of new to this, what is the best way to make contacts, to get yourself on that radar?
Twitter.
Yes, right, but how?
Social media is very important. I'm guessing most of you here are some list or non-known list. It's basically the books that you have bought. So when you're tweeting a review of it, whether it's good or bad, always try and tweet the publisher or have a conversation with the publisher about an upcoming book. Like, I know there's a publisher over there who has a book coming out next year which I really want to read. So, but they know us, guys, we do chat to each other. And while you get record, that's it, sorry, brain went blank. They could easily, they might send you a tweet and say, what's your blogger email address? So it is just talking to them. They might get loads of tweets to them about reviews and they might not, but some people just will do it. And some people are only kind of being grateful that you're spending time and effort paying attention to their book.
I think as well, it's like, you don't always have to talk about books. It's sometimes if you're talking about other things that you like, passionate about, like if you're really interested in some sport or like certain TV shows or whatever, certain things, if they know they've got a book coming out, like if you're really into music and they know they've got a book coming out that is kind of music-based and it's kind of nice because we know that they're into it, so we can link up, like they know that you're passionate about other things or certain authors that you've read about that they think, oh, what we've got coming out is kind of similar. I think when I first got on, the first person I got was from someone from Bloomsbury contacted me, and it was another blogger who recommended me saying, oh, I know that this person, this blogger, she's new, but she would love this book from what I've spoken to her about. So sometimes other bloggers recommend names that they know, or like they say, do you know anyone who wants to read this one, you can pass along things. And it's okay to ask other bloggers, say, who's the publicist at Bloomsbury, say. If you know their Twitter name, then you can pass it along. I think asking for emails is a bit different, because you kind of like, you have to work your way up to it. And also then, if I were to pass on the emails from the publicist to everyone else, and then they're bothersome to the publicist, they'll say, well, you got the email from Sister Spooky, and then I look bad as well. So it's kind of like you want to help everyone, but I think, you know, finding out who's doing what and where is good, and then you can follow them on Twitter, conversations. You know, if they say, oh, we can't add you to the list, we have space or whatever, just sort of go, okay, that's fine, but just keep an eye out for if there's any free events sometimes, like Waterstones and other places, and go to them and then talk in person. You know, it's just building up a network.
We do have a question from here. Good question. How do you make your blog visible when you're starting out? How do you get the word out there that you exist?
What I did, I started November last year. I literally, obviously, I didn't have any books from the publisher, so it was my own books. So literally Twitter, did the review, and then obviously I think it was a 5-star review or something. So I just literally tweeted the publisher and the author, and they often quite retweet it. And then from that, for me, I tend to then, I started talking to people, basically. Not with the intention of, oh, I want to get on this list, but just to make friends. And from that, it just seemed to, then people were asking me if I would like the books and if I wanted to go on the list. But it took a while, it wasn't instant. I'd say like February time we started to get a bit more busier. Yeah, I think for me, it's just getting to know people on Twitter rather than asking them, if that makes sense.
Andrew? Wake up.
Wake up. How do you make it? I have, I was going to say like Twitter, like using social media, so like Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. I have no idea how I made my blog visible. I say to it, I stumbled into blogging, and that's basically how I feel. I think it is, you just get to chat to people on Twitter, so chat to some platforms, publishers, and you just talk to them. So you can get a good review, like 4-star or 5-star. 9 times out of 10, a publisher or an author will retweet it. So it's just making yourself not be loud on social media, but being accessible and talking to people. I think that's the best way to do it.
Also, I think making your blog unique. You know, if your blog looks the same and you know you're praising and using the same words as everyone else, it kind of get lost in the stream of everything. But if you've got if it looks visually different, even I know for me, some of my most popular posts have been about an event I went to where I've obviously taken some unusual photos or had an interesting conversation and I wrote about it, or more personal posts, things that aren't even about books, but people then sort of get interested and think, oh, that was an interesting thing they've written, let's have a look at some of the other things they've written, what their reviews sound like. Put your own voice in a review, even if you're swearing or making up words or putting gifs in or something if it's unique and it's interesting, people are going to want to read it, because that's the thing, if it's just a stream of words and it sounds the same as everything else that's been said already, you might click on it, but you want someone to click and come back, so just put you into the book, because then you'll enjoy writing it and it's easier to write the reviews, because if you're having to make it formal, it's difficult.
Can I ask that you guys were sort of put in the spotlight for the awards ceremony, the UKYA Blog Awards. What is it that makes each of your blogs different to anything else that's out there? Time to blow your own trumpet, but what makes yours different?
I like to think that I am myself. So in my reviews, I think that if you've met me and now you've met, if you read a review, I think I'm the same in a review as I am in person. Because I'm quite giggly and I try to make it fun, and I try to put things in there that people find interesting to read. And I always find with Q&As, if I ask an author for a Q&A, if I find it fun and I'm that's so brilliant, then I know other people are going to find it fun. So I think for me, it's fun. I don't know. What about you?
I think to be honest. Like, you know, half the time if I'm reading something, and even if overall I thought the book was good, if there's a bit that I thought, oh, I'm not gonna lie, there's like 3 chapters in the middle that's super cool. You know, all the I like this character. Oh, the way they spoke just didn't sound believable to me. And I feel back sometimes I sort of think, I know the author might read this, and I know how hard his work, how hard all the publishers put work in. But I think I have to be honest, because I've had like feedback from authors saying, thanks so much for being honest, because otherwise I just think I'm doing the right thing, and they do need critique. You've got to remember, as much as you get friendly with all these people, you're there to kind of critique the work and give feedback, because the idea is you're trying to sell the book or tell people that you liked it. So I think that's trying to be honest as well.
Andrew Hall, what makes your blog different from everybody else?
I had absolutely no idea.
Can't say gifts.
I can't say gifts. I don't really put gifts on my blog unless it's like a fun post. I think as you probably said, we've had very long conversations of how to get away with murder and our love for Viola Davis. Not real murder, it's a TV show. And our love for an actor called Viola Davis. I think I try, it's basically what you guys do, you try and write like myself, which is very odd. Like, so I do tweet, I do blog like I'm talking now, which is like 100 miles an hour verbal diarrhea. But you're right, you've got to be thinking, I think it's just trying to be you. You can write a blog post which sounds like your voice and you are happy with it, then the rest of it doesn't matter. So if you do QA, ask the questions I want to ask. Like I had someone a while ago, and I think I asked them a question like, what was it like doing this, and how did you cope with being so suddenly successful, and you were sort of there? And it is basically, I want to know stuff that I'm interested in. So because I'm interested, I will be hyper as hell. I think it's you guys, it's just trying to write like me.
Yeah, but even in Q&As, if I've done an author Q&A, I'll put questions that I think, oh yeah, ask this, ask that. And then I'll probably put something like a name at the end, like, oh, what's your favourite achievements? Or like, you know, what, you know, and it's just something stupid, because half the time, I did like a whole series of them with authors, and they're like, oh, I'm so glad, because I get asked the same things all the time. So it's kind of nice to answer a question about, like, you know, what was your favourite sweet when you were a kid, or like, you know, what was your favourite cuddly toy when you were like 5? You know, just something different, because then they don't have to just regurgitate stuff, and it makes it a bit like hard to get like.
Something we've touched on briefly is delivering bad news. For anybody who's kind of new here, maybe worried about the politics of reviews and things like that, what do you do if you read a book that you absolutely detest, but you've committed to reviewing it? What do you do? What's the policy there?
For me, it depends how bad.
I say terrible.
If it was really, really terrible and I really couldn't put any words together to, you know, helpful words, then I would contact the publisher and I would say, this really wasn't for me. I don't really want to cause any negativity. I mean, I have done reviews where I not like the book so much, but I've done it in a constructive way rather than I really hated this book, I would never pick it up again. I've sort of done it in constructive, as in why I didn't like the book, what didn't work for me, but not in a way where I'm really slagging off the book. But if it was really bad, I would speak to the publisher and just explain. Especially if you've been asked to be on like a blog tour or something that you really work, it's really important to contact the publisher and just say, look, is there anything else perhaps I can do instead of a review, or can I opt out?
Yeah, I think if it's a blog tour type thing and that's what's happened, you do have to contact. If it's a blog tour and a review, you do have to contact and say it's not gel with me. So could I opt out, could I change it? And it's funny, you mentioned there with me. I had a sudden remembrance many years ago. I needed to read a short story. It was free, and I bought it myself. It was gay erotica, so I should have known from that disaster. It wasn't going to be great literature, but I remember reading like an hour, and I think that's the only review I have ever written, which I said, don't read it. And I don't think, at the time, I don't regret it, but now I do think, yeah, maybe I should have not written that review that way. But as you're going to start, you're going to make mistakes. So you've got to learn mistakes and you've just got to move on. So yeah, the issue is talking about it.
And I think the thing is, especially when you start out, you're kind of frightened to even write something negative. You kind of think, oh, you know, it's an okay book, but I don't want to sound like I'm, you know, I'm only new at this. I don't want to sound like I'm writing bad things about people and they don't even know me and they're just going to think I just write crappy reviews about people. But I think it's kind of good to do that. I think, like you said, it's kind of like balance it out. Like say, I didn't like this bit, these bits I did like, these bits that I didn't get on with, but that might be because I'm not a boy and I didn't understand the main perspective in it, or things like that. And I sometimes do. If I'm writing a less than average review, I'll find another blogger that I know that has written a good review, like they liked it, and link to the blog saying, you know, it wasn't my cup of tea, that this person really liked it, read it, have a balanced point of view. But I think the key is, but now, if I read a book and I just think it's okay, or I didn't really love it, I don't even write a review anymore, because I think I'd rather just write something and be able to be, you know, not positive, not all glowing reviews on the blog, but I just think you haven't got time to write average negative reviews. I think, well, maybe just write a few sentences, like do a roundup post, say these 3 books I read, this one was okay, I like the character of this in it, you know, something short and sweet rather than a whole stream of something. So just finding a balance, you don't have to.
How honest can you be online without worrying?
I think I'm quite honest, but I think I sort of go round in a little bubble, shelly bubble. I do think though, if you, it's best not to, if you really, really hate it, it's best not to tweet the author. Really, it's not good. And I wouldn't really necessarily tweet how I hated this book. I would, yeah.
Keep it on the low.
Yeah. My review would be instructive.
I thought what the question was.
How honest can you afford to be about a bad review?
I think you can be, well, it's not just whether you can be, it's whether you want to be. If you kind of think, I really don't want to cause a problem, it's not worth it, it wasn't that good of a book to start causing a problem. If it's something you're kind of really passionate about, if you read it and you thought, I can't believe they've written that character that way, or I can't believe they're talking about this subject matter and they handled it so badly, maybe don't do it as a review, maybe do it as a topic post, saying, you know, I've read a book recently, it was talking about this, I don't agree with how they did it, but I think it should be like this is what I look for in this subject matter, or something like that. You know, try and find a different angle, but I think if you're really passionate about how, you know, why you didn't like it, not that you just hated it, but for a particular reason, definitely say, you can tweet about it, or you can talk about it on your blog, because it is your space. But like I said, maybe don't tweet your, you don't tend to like, you know, the negative stuff, you know. Sometimes I'll just tweet the publisher, because they want to see it. If they've sent me the book, I kind of think, I owe them to say, you know, this is what I thought. But sometimes the author will still retweet it or reply back to it anyway, you know. Sometimes they see it, they follow the feed for their like name or the search or something. So you just have to be prepared if someone isn't happy about it, you know.
We've got 5 minutes left. What is the best piece of advice that you can each offer any new bloggers in this room? What's the thing that you kind of think, I wish I knew that when I started out? What is the thing that you can pass on?
Don't start.
It's a trap, run away.
I think the best thing is like, don't put so much pressure on you. Because people don't do that for you. You know, don't, you know, and then there is pressure to say yes, and there is pressure to go to all the events if you know people are going, and you know, and talk to all the people and be on Twitter all the time. Because it does go all the time. But if you're not, it doesn't matter. It's good to have a life outside of the blogging and doing things that don't involve it, because otherwise you just get so run down with it that you like, I know sometimes it's good just to have a break, or even like just not read anything, or read, like if you're doing YA books, read an adult book, read a history book or something, you know, read a dictionary, but you know, just to kind of refresh your brain, you know, and it's okay to really be enthusiastic about it, just don't put pressure on yourself to keep it up, because you just burn yourself out.
I think as well, don't force yourself to read something. So if you've been sent a book, but you've got to read it by a certain date. I wouldn't force yourself to read it because you really won't enjoy it. Because that happened to me, but then I reread it and I really loved it, but I just wasn't in the mood for it at the time when I was reading it. So yeah, I wish I'd learned to maybe not think, right, that came in next, I've got to read that, and rather than, now I pick what I fancy reading out of the pile.
My advice basically is please don't put pressure on yourself. Also, this sounds like a really stupid thing to say, but also be quite kind and respectful, not only just to other bloggers out there and publishers, but also to yourself. Because, yes, there will be times where you will get, you do feel this pressure when you see the TBR by being you, and you do feel this pressure when you see your test rate. I love this book, and you've read it, you've gone, I don't understand the love for it. So don't be so negative on yourself. You're all individuals, you can have your own opinion. Don't feel like you have to say, oh, this is great. Because exactly, be a rebel, but be respectful. Don't say, I hate this book. Say, okay, I didn't like it, and here is why, but there are good points. So balance it out. Be constructive, but be kind, because we're all human. We can get riled up very easily, I think.
That's a good thing. Any further questions, please?
How often do you put something aside, like do not finish it, and do you ever write reviews of books you don't finish?
So the question was, listen here, do you ever write reviews for books but not finish them?
It takes me a lot to do not finish a book. There's only one book I've ever read that I've not finished, and that was an adult book years ago. I'm the type of person, if I start something and I know I'm going to review it, that I will finish it. I don't have many finishes. I do. But I've been quite lucky because I've had quite a lot of reps on Twitter, so like from other bloggers, so my reading list has been quite good. So I've been quite lucky. So maybe that might change, but
when I first started blogging, I would try my damnedest to try and finish every book to the bitter end. Now, it's a completely different story because I have this, because I'm going to say a bad word, so cover your ears, life is too short to read crap books. Not every book. Not bad word. I personally have much worse, but I don't like swearing, so I feel like I'm good. Life is too short to read books that you are not going to get on with. And if you've read a book and you don't particularly all the way through and you get to the end and it's why would you put yourself under that pressure to read a book and hate it? Reading is a hobby, reading is a pastime, reading is something pleasurable. If you are reading a book and you're thinking I am not warming to it, you've given it a good 100 or so pages. Also, you can put it down and go, I will leave it, I might come back to it, I might not, you don't need that pressure on yourself. But it does depend on you guys. You might go, first week and go, I know straight away, hate it. I know people that have read Jonathan Strange and Mr. Noel, and we've got 700, 800 pages and I've gone, you know what, and it's 1,000 pages that book, and gone,
1,006 pages.
And 1,006 pages, and they put the book down and go, you know what, no, I've given it the best shot I've given. So you don't put yourself under that pressure.
Final word to Laura, if you are at the time, sorry.
Yeah, there are books that I haven't finished, but some that I normally have 50 pages. Like if I get about 50 pages and I sort of think, you know, and I'm quite happy to give them up. I just think that all books are written, they're not all for you. You know, they're not all written to for everyone. Like, you know, like some that are written for different people. So that you can't, it's okay. But don't forget, when you've written for you once, because I committed to a tour name, I didn't know, you know, around it. But yeah, it's okay to put things down.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the session. Thank you very much. Give us one round of applause.
my favourites to share so far.
And if you have further questions, these guys, they will be out here within about 2 or 3 minutes. Thank you very, very much.